Welcome to the New World Order Showcase Podcast. Your host, Jill Hart, the coach's Alchemist. Couldn't be more excited to have you join us today. On this podcast, we celebrate the champions of change, the up-and-coming life, health and transformational coaches who are fearlessly stepping forward to make a difference in the world. Get ready for inspiring stories, practical tips, and powerful moments that will motivate you to make a positive change in your life and those around you. We're happy to have you join us on this incredible journey as we dive into the world of life, health, and transformational coaches who are lighting up the path towards a better tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome to the New World Order Showcase podcast. Today we have with us Kris Kendall. Kris is a certified life coach and a podcast host of Fulfilled After 40, which is a really enticing title, at least to me. I'm sure it is to everybody else. Asking the question, how are you living your best life right now? Welcome to the show, Kris. It's really great to have you here. So tell us your story.
Much. Yeah, thank you. I, like many of us, like you said, by the time that I got, my early 40s, I started to notice that myself and my friends were at this like stage of what's next, right? Maybe we weren't as happy in our jobs. Our kids were growing up more independent. They didn't really need us. Our social systems kind of started to change, and I I had a lot of like activities and things going on, but I noticed a lot of my friends didn't. They were kind of like lost and not really sure how to, to take care of themselves, how to put themselves first. They'd never done that. They'd never prioritized any of their own dreams, and they really just didn't know what was next. And so that's when I realized I could help them kind of seek that fulfillment and like recognize what it is and like go for it, actually do the things that they've always wanted to do but always backburnered because of family, friends, career, etc.
Yeah, it's really a pivotal point in your life. Your kids are kind of not needing you so much anymore. And your his career's, if you're married, his career is established and you're comfortable, but you don't really have a role anymore.
Yes.
Just like, who am I? And
Yeah, it really changes. I think for so many of us, we're sort of like, well, now what? Like, yeah, who am I? And the really good thing is that for many of us, we now have some time, we have a little bit of money, we have a little bit of freedom, but we don't know what to do with it or how to like maximize it.
right. And your other things about your life are changing. It's like the perfect moment when you turn 40 and when you turn like 60. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, 60 is another big turning point. And it's like you're free to repaint new canvas, white,
Yes.
just, get all the colors out. Let's throw them out there and see what we come up with. Start over.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't care about, our clothes as much. We don't care about our hair being perfect. We don't care about what people think when we say something, you know, loud or obnoxious or silly. Yeah, you just sort of start to lose those inhibitions, which is so freeing and so like I can do anything. I really can do anything now.
Yeah, it is. Freeing is like, it's the perfect word for it. You've reached a point where you can explore different options. If you had dreams that you kind of put on the back burner and thought, oh no, that'll never happen. Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
And there are people like you out there that can show them how to make it happen.
Yeah,
And
it's not too late. It's never too late.
it's never too late, and it's not that hard. Even if you know, I deal with people that are a little bit older because I am older, but tech might be challenging, and even people in their 40s and 50s, tech can be challenging, but it doesn't have to be like so overwhelming that it stops you. Because there's, like I said, there's people like you out there that can help them figure it out. So how do you help them with that?
Yeah. So for most of my clients, the first step is just, kind of identifying what did you like? What were some of the fun things that you used to do when you did fun things, right? Like I had lunch actually this morning, or coffee this morning, with a friend, and she was saying she's getting close to retirement, and she's like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Like, what will I do? Like, literally, what will I do all day? I don't even know. And so it's kind of that, when before, when you were in high school, when you were in college, what did you like to paint? Did you like to do pottery? Did you play sports? Maybe we're not playing the same kind of sports that we used to, but what about the sport did you like? Did you like having that weekly appointment with friends? Is there a hobby that you put to the back burner that you've forgotten about? Do you love to read? Have you always wanted to write poetry? Like, there's so many things that if we really stop and think about what do we enjoy, bringing that forward and kind of making that a priority again. I mean, so for some people, it might be they love cooking, and they love cooking for their family, but now they don't have a big family to cook for, so they don't cook. It's like, okay, well, how can you use that and still find joy and happiness? So maybe you cook for a food kitchen, for a church, for your friends, like for other people's families. Like, there are so many ways that you can still get that
Maybe you start a
rewarding
catering
feeling.
business.
Yes, yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah,
so many
so
options.
yes, yeah. So just really identifying, like, what do you enjoy doing? What are you good at? What would you like to spend 1 hour a day, 5 hours a day doing? We do have a good 12, 16 hours every single day to fill. And if we aren't doing it all at a job, or we aren't doing it primarily for other people, how do we want to spend that time?
Yeah, and it can seem scary, the idea of looking at that. It's like all those hours to fill. But
Yeah.
once you start down the path, it's like 24 is not enough. I need
Yes,
more every day.
for sure, for
Many
sure.
things I want to do. And yeah, you just, once you start towards what you want to do, you discover what it is that just really lights you up, what your mission is, what you were sent here to do. Because a lot of us had kids and got married, and we did all the things we were supposed to do and had careers, and then we reach that point where it's just like, well, now we have to be somebody different because that job's gone.
Yeah, right. Like, and you don't want to like be constantly burdening your kids, right? Like checking in all day long, come have lunch with me, or tell me about every single thing you've done today, because they have lives too, and you want them to have those lives. So it's really the time, not only for the people around you, but for yourself, to like, what makes me happy? How can I be my own source of fulfillment and joy? I don't rely on other people anymore, even your spouse. When people retire and they're both home together, and they're just kind of like, stuck with each other, and they have to entertain each other, that can be very stressful on a relationship as well. And so I just think it's so important to have your own things that you care about. Nobody else has to care about. If you care about, you love doing it, you want to do it, and then prioritizing it, making it happen.
And I can tell you, as a person who is in their 60s and does have a husband who is retired, if you don't know what you're doing when you're in your 40s, if you haven't figured out who you are and what you love, and you don't have, and you need a routine. You need to know what you're doing and what you want to do, and it needs to be separate from your husband, because when he comes home, he's going to be lost. It happens
Yes.
every time. And unless one of you is stable, it's going to really hurt your relationship. I see so many people that, the husband retires and the wife is like, oh crap, now what do I do? You're
Yeah.
here all the time. And
Yes.
they don't have like their own thing. So they can't really show their husbands to go and have a life of their own too. And then they end up sitting there watching television all day long. And that's,
Yes,
just
for
waiting for
sure.
the dirt to get shoveled.
Yeah,
You
right,
because
exactly. At
your
that
life's
point, you
over.
are just waiting for something else to happen, and things don't just happen. You have to go make them happen. You have to seek out those opportunities and then embrace them. When you get invited to go on a cruise with friends, or when you get invited to visit family members, you have to say yes. You have to like step out of that comfort zone and do it, because I think so many times when we are doing the thing, we might be like, oh my God, this is awkward, or, whatever. But then at the end of it, we're like, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I took that chance, and I, made the drive. I didn't want to leave the house this morning, but I'm glad I showed up, because at the end, you just feel so good and so happy having done something, memorable. So yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't even really matter what it is, but if you're thinking that you want to do something productive and make money at it, then you really do need to hire somebody who knows what steps you need to take. Otherwise, trust me, you'll end up spending the money anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. In time, in headaches, in therapy sessions, in a million, unnecessary products. And yeah, for sure. Yeah. Once you decide what, or you kind of remember what that goal is, what you love doing and what you want to do, um, the, just kind of looking for the most direct way to get there. So I do business coaching, and with a lot of my clients, it takes them a while to sort of figure out, this is the business I want to start. I've always wanted to write books. I've always wanted to make jewelry and sell it on Etsy, or I've always wanted to, do interior design. And when they finally are ready to do it, they're ready. They're like, all in, let's do this, because we're not getting any younger. Every day is one more day lost. And so, waiting for like next summer, next year, end of the year, beginning of whatever, like it's just never going to happen. So, really trying to not only identify what you want to do, but then putting in a plan to do it and to make it happen, and to like set goals of like, this week I'm going to do this piece of it. The next week I'm going to do this piece. By the end of the month, I'm going to have this action done, this website up. I'm going to have met with my coach. I'm going to have sat down with a person for, some real business planning, whatever it is. Because yeah, otherwise you could spend months or years just floundering and never make it off the first stage.
Now, my biggest suggestion is plan the end in the beginning. The first thing you need to know is, when will you know you've arrived?
Yeah.
And then what you're going to do when you've arrived, and work backwards from there. And if you're thinking that you're going to start a jewelry business on Etsy and make $1 million, then, start at the $1 million and figure out just how many of those little pieces of jewelry you need to actually make to profit to make $1 million.
Yeah.
I that will
It's a lot of earrings.
deter you from thinking that you're going to make $1 million when you're selling $10 widgets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
And
have
I
to
mean,
sell
it's
so many.
okay if you don't want to make 1 million. Not everybody does. Some people just want 500 a month extra of like play
Yeah.
money, and that's
And if
fine. Yeah.
and that's knowing what your end goal is
Yep.
allows you to make a determination on what it is that you're doing. So if your end goal is to only make $500 extra a month, then a little part-time business making something that's not real expensive, but it's priced reasonably well so that you can sell it, and it will compensate you for the time that's involved in it. um then that makes a lot more sense. But it's matching up with your end result that you're looking to achieve. And some people just want something to do. And if
Right.
that's the case, then maybe you're not really starting a business, maybe you're having a hobby. And
Yeah.
hobbies are perfectly fine things. And you could call it a business for a couple of years and the IRS is good with that.
Yeah,
Change
make a
your
little bit of
hobby.
money. Yeah, exactly.
Write it
Exactly.
off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just whatever it is that drives you to want to wake up every day, want to get dressed every day, want to do something and help someone, or whatever's going to bring you joy. Um, identifying it, I think, is one of the hardest pieces, and then going for it, putting yourself first and saying, I'm willing to spend a little bit of money to buy all the beads and whatever's needed to make this jewelry, or I'm willing to hire a coach in order to get me to that next step. I'm willing to take these classes in order to learn how to be an accountant because I've always wanted to be an accountant. Whatever the thing is that drives them. Um, just sometimes people just need permission to do it, right? Like their spouse is not going to tell them it's a good idea. Their kids are going to tell them that's ridiculous and don't spend our inheritance on going back to school or getting a certification or whatever it is. So they just need someone to tell them, yes, you are important enough. You are allowed to do the things you want to do. You have permission to put yourself first and do the thing. Um, and that's really what they need, because not everybody has that in their like real life network, unfortunately.
Yeah. And women, especially in their 40s, it's like they're so used to having to get permission to do anything that
Yeah,
the idea of just giving yourself permission, just
yeah,
do it
yeah.
and
And it
recognize.
takes,
Go ahead.
I was just say it's hard to get to that, right? Not everybody can get there.
And that's where people like you come in. Do you just do one-on-one coaching or do you do group coaching?
I do occasional group coaching. It's usually one-on-one though, only because
Mhm.
everybody's so different. They're at like most of my clients are at a very different stages. Some of them are just thinking about it and they don't really believe that they're smart enough or whatever to actually start a business. Other people have a pretty good business. Maybe they're making a few thousand every month and they just want to double that. They want to expand where they're at. And then they're the clients who want to make a million. Like they're doing well, but they want to go big. And so we're just kind of all in focused on that. So they all have different needs. So I tend to do one-on-ones most often.
Mhm.
But groups great because you get to hear what everybody else's challenges. It's not just about like, I'm tired of talking about all my problems. When you hear that other people are in the same position, they're having the same fears, whether they're making zero or a million, they probably have the same thoughts that you do wherever you're at. And so that can be very reassuring to know that it's not just me. I'm not the only person, and other people have felt this way. They've been here and they've gotten past it, and they've been able to be successful in spite of this fear or insecurity.
I think sometimes in groups you also see other people not even so much struggling with things, but they have questions and ideas and thoughts that you're just like, oh wow, I never really looked at it that way. And it allows you to expand your thinking and expand your business opportunities.
Yep, for sure, for sure.
So you have a unique concept for coaching people that you were telling me about before we got on here. Go ahead. Why don't you share that with the audience? Because I think
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
yeah. So when I first, started my practice, I wanted to like kind of get some content out there. It's all content, right? And get some TikToks and things like that. But I didn't really want to just like jump on and talk randomly about things. So I decided to invite clients to have a free coaching session on my podcast. So my podcast, Fulfilled After 40, um, the podcast is what it's called, is all live coaching sessions. And so it's real people that in most cases I've never met them before. A few of them I've met a few times. They were either past clients or friends that I know personally. Um, but most of them are brand new people and they bring their challenges to me, their what they're at with their business, you know, their life, whatever, because I do life coaching and business coaching. And we just spend 30, 40, 50 minutes going through their full coaching session on the podcast. So it's kind of fun. And I think it's a great opportunity for people who are thinking about hiring a coach and aren't really sure, like, is it going to be helpful? Am I going to learn anything? Um, to listen to those episodes or watch it. I do video as well. So they can watch an episode and see, kind of what that might look like for them. And not only might they get ideas for their own business and their own transformation and where they're at, but also to get an idea of if they were to bring their current situation to a coach, how those sessions might go. So it's been really fun. I love doing them. At the end of every episode, you know, everyone's usually very happy and very excited, and they've got a list of things that they're ready to go do next. And so it's really exciting to be a part of that and to be able to share that with so many people.
It's really a service to the world too, because as you help people step into their superpower, and it's really what it's all about, you impact those that are around them, and the ripple effect just really makes the whole world better. It's what excites me about working with coaches. It's like, you guys got it going on. Everybody does something so unique.
Yeah.
So you were also telling me that you fly to people's homes and you help them hold their hand. So
Yes.
how
Yeah.
does
So
that look?
this is something I just started offering in the fall, and it's been so amazing. So I call it a 2-day intensive. And essentially, the clients usually are at a pretty early stage in their business. So either they're just thinking about starting or they have just started and they don't really know how to get clients, how to start getting their products out there, how to build their website, like whatever they're doing. And so I will fly to any city in the US and spend 2 days. So it's usually from like 10 in the morning till about 7 in the evening, and we do meals together and everything. Um, and usually it's in a hotel. So I'll be in the hotel, and then they either stay in the hotel with me or they'll, come in. But not with me, but
Yeah. In
also.
a room, also in the hotel.
um it's not that intimate, but yes. So yeah, we just spent 2 days together and pound through everything. Like, so for one client, she needed help with her accounting systems. Like, she didn't know how to do anything money related, so we literally just built out a full QuickBooks setup. We went through all of our receipts, and that took, most of 2 days. For other people, it's like, I need messaging. I don't have my offer, or I've got lots of offers. I want to narrow them down, or I need help with a website. I've been meaning to do a website. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to put there. And we just sit there and we'll build a whole website, like whatever they need. Because what I found is that it's one thing to like have a 40, 50 hour long conversation with a person, and they make a list of like, oh, I'm going to do that, that's good, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. But then actually, the next day when they're looking at their list of like, I don't even know what that means, I don't know where to start, and it can still be really hard to just do it. And so these 2 day intensives have been really great to like just get from like point A to point J. Like, we just skip months of work and thinking and worrying and stress and edits and stuff, and just jump right in, and they leave at the end of those 2 days with like a lot of stuff done, and they're in business at that point. So it's been really fun, and I love traveling, and I love having an excuse to be in new cities and go to new places. And I always tell the clients, like, it doesn't have to be your city. Like, you pick your favorite city in the country and you go there and I'll go there, and we'll just work for a couple of days. You won't be tempted to drive home to feed your kids dinner or hang out with your husband. We're just going to like be alone and do this thing for a couple of days. So it's been really great.
Kind of like a retreat, but
Yes,
it's like a personal retreat.
exactly. One-on-one, you tell me where to
Concierge
be.
retreats.
Yeah. And we do
Love
fun
it.
stuff too. Like, we will take breaks. We can fit in a spa appointment, or a few little things here and there, but we get a lot done in 2 days.
That's an amazing, again, opportunities everywhere.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who are business coaches, but this is the first time I've talked to somebody who really just goes and holds your hand for 2 days in whatever city. I love this. I love this a lot.
Good. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Well, and I'll tell you, so I will offer your listeners a discount. If you go to my website, fulfilledafter40.com, you'll see the intensive, the full price. But if you go to fulfilledafter40.com/intensive, you'll see the discounted price, and you'll get $2,000 off the full price. And so, if anyone's interested in booking, I'm booking out from April through summer right now. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. So I'll make sure that I do put that in the show notes. Also, if they want to join your podcast for the free coaching session, they can do that on your website as well. You want to walk them through the steps for doing that?
Yeah, if you just go to fulfilledafter40.com, onto the website, up in the corner, there's a button that says the podcast. If you click that and scroll down the page, you'll see an become a guest button that says like be on the show or something like that. And so that's the form to fill out. Mm-hmm. And then once you fill it out, we'll connect and we'll get you scheduled, and you'll have your free session. So it's a lot of fun.
It sounds like it. Sounds like a lot of fun. So what's the one thing that you hope the audience takes away from this conversation today, Kris?
Well, I just really want everyone to acknowledge that they are not done yet. You still have so much living to do, and whatever that looks like for you. So, really think about the things that bring you joy. And if you're not doing them now, what can you start doing? Can you start incorporating some of that into your life? And if it might look a little different than it might, than it could have 20, 30, 40 years ago, but that doesn't mean you can't still find happiness and joy in those kinds of things. So, I encourage you to look within yourself, find those things that you're missing, and put in an honest effort to bring them back into your life for this next stage.
Yeah. And if you're really just curious what that looks like, go on Kris's show.
Yeah.
Pick her brain.
Yeah.
She'll help you.
I'll help you. I'll help you remember what you like to do. Yeah. That's one of the fun things that we get to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me, Kris. This has been great.
Thank you so much, Jill. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the You World Order Showcase podcast. We hope you've enjoyed hearing from our incredible life, health, and transformational coaches who are making a profound impact on the world. Remember, change begins with you, and you have the power to transform your life and the lives of others. If you want to take that next step and unlock your true potential, visit thecoachesalchemist.com, where you can find the 3 ways we can help you for free to spin your talent into gold with clarity, a system, and a plan. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an inspiring episode. And if you enjoyed today's show, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us and helps us reach more people with our positive message. Stay connected with us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and upcoming guest announcements. You can find us on Facebook at the You World Order, or simply visit thecoachesalchemist.com.